Chevrolet Service Department. Now let's go down to the field.
We're here at Bobcat Stadium tonight as Radford High School takes on Blacksburg High School in a new River Valley confrontation. I'm Dave Ross, and along with Don Lee and Matt Pumo, glad to be here at Bobcat Stadium. Don, no question about it, when you think of the New River District, you always think of these two football teams, Radford and Blacksburg. Both have great traditions and coaches who certainly epitomize the best in high school sports.
Well, it's a thrill to be here, Dave, because when you speak of tradition, these are just perfect examples. Blacksburg, a current year before last, a state champion, and Radford in their past, a state champion a number of times. And you mentioned coaching. When you have Coach Norm Lineburg and Dave Chris, on a 10 scale, you got to come up with 15s. They're both 15 on a 10 scale.
When you look at, of course, Blacksburg, it's a ball club that won their opener, beat Giles, and then lost to a very good Salem team last week. Radford has had a couple of easy victories. When you look at this game, too, with the tradition, last year it was 28-0 Radford. What do you look for this season?
Well, I look for a tough, hard-fought battle. As I said, it's a big rivalry. You'll have a lot of bragging rights that's going to be played for tonight. I've never been one to compare scores to find the meaning of a game. This game has a much deeper meaning than who played who last week. The one thing that you said that I think is an important point is last year's score. Those Blacksburg kids have lived all year with a 28-0 pasting at a time that it may have been unexpected. I think that's one thing that'll be on their minds tonight. And on the other side of the ball, Radford's probably saying, we got them 28-0 last year. Let's get them 35-0 this year, because that's the kind of rivalry we have.
All right, well, we'll continue with more of our pregame festivities here at Bobcat Stadium. But first, let's take this commercial timeout.
A whisper.
It's gonna be so good.
A desire.
I'm going further.
You're not satisfied. It's time. It's time. It's time to order HBO and Cinemax. Make your move for the biggest and best. Call the number on your screen and get installation for just $9.95. Order HBO or Cinemax and get your second month free. Plus 100 free minutes of long-distance calling on Sprint. Good no matter who your carrier is. HBO, Cinemax, it's time.
If you improve your water with a Connecticut water plant, you would find purer water. No chlorine taste. Additional water quality protection. Year-round refreshing water.
Score tonight, the incomparable Mr. Wonderful Bob Teitlebaum of the Roanoke Times. And
as always, we'd like to get you on. I think we missed getting you on last year, but now we want to make up for it and get you on this year. I'm here, Dave, and what a game this is going to be. The New River District Championship, probably a state, and these are the two teams, and it's good to see Fox 21 down here. When you look at Blacksburg and Radford, Bob, I know a lot of times you cover so many different teams, you don't get to see a lot of them. But I noticed in the first couple of games, Blacksburg seems to be throwing the ball quite a bit. Yeah, quite a surprise, because Dave Chris has never been a coach that likes to throw. He's won a couple of state championships in the main game that he had no chance was the ground game, but he's got Matt Smith as an excellent quarterback, and Dave's one of these coaches who's not afraid to adapt, change his ways, and go with his personnel, and obviously this year he has a thrower, and he's going to ride that on. John, I know you wanted to mention something about what was put in the pre-game thing this morning from the Roanoke Times. Yeah, Steve does a great job. I thought it was especially a good job this morning being a former coach, reading about the way things used to be as far as rules and regulations, because those kind of things are often in the headlines now as far as haircuts. We saw it in baseball, but Steve did a good job of explaining it, and I just asked everybody out there that ever played high school football then, think about those days of practice when you couldn't have water, and you were out there for 2 hours. I don't know why we didn't lose a lot of people with heat stroke. Yeah, it's amazing, and it's lucky that they didn't, but too, the coaches just didn't understand that you had to have water, and somehow the players survived. I guess they were fortunate we found out about it, and that really wasn't meant to attack the coaches for not giving them water in those days, but really to show how much things have changed and how coaches nowadays are a little bit more lenient, because you have to be extra time just to make sure that what we're growing up with today, you can't keep players and be real strict and ride them all the time. Well, I'll say this, Bob, it's a good thing you didn't play for Don Wade. That's true, Don was quite disappointed on this thing, weren't you, Don? No, he wasn't. He still is, let me tell you. Well, Bob, it's good to have you, and look forward to seeing you. I know you'll be at a couple of other games we do, and as always, it's good visiting with you. Well, good to be here, and good to see you all. I'm sure, yes, I will see you down the line. All right, I thank the Bob Teitlebaum of the Roanoke Times and World News, and we'll be back with more here at Bobcat Stadium right after we take this commercial timeout.
back here at Bobcat Stadium as Radford getting ready to take on Blacksburg, and I am thrilled to have my buddy Matt Puma here with us. Matt, how you doing, my friend?
I'm not doing bad, Dave, at all. In fact, this is probably the highlight of my broadcasting career, working with you and Don. This is just, it doesn't get any better than this, I don't think.
What do you think about this ball game, my friend?
Well, I don't know. As Don mentioned earlier, Blacksburg's got a lot on their mind after last week, so it could be interesting.
All right, let's go down to the field for our national anthem.
Thank you. Our national anthem.
national anthem, and Don, give us the referees for tonight's game. Oh, we have a fine crew tonight, headed by referee Dalton Burry, the umpire is Kevin Thompson, head linesman Monty Sanders, line judge is Bill Broadhurst, and night judge Don Nichols. All right, so there they are, the officials for tonight's game, and we'll be back with tonight's kickoff between Radford and Blacksburg. But first, let's take this commercial timeout.
The Blacksburg High School Indians will receive the kickoff from Radford High School. As we mentioned last year, Radford defeating Blacksburg 28-0, and of course won the New River District Championship. Both Blacksburg and Radford moving on to the Group AA football playoffs, as the Radford Bobcats last year
City High School in the first round. In '89, they were 9-3. They defeated Blacksburg 14-7, were district runner-up, and then in 1988 lost to Blacksburg 20-19. So the last two games have been won by Radford High School. Last year 28-0, and then a couple years ago 14-7. You don't think Blacksburg's got a little revenge on their mind, do you? You know they do. With these bragging rights, of course, you know this area pretty well. It's as Don mentioned, they have to live with that shutout from last year for a year, so they want to make up for that. Also looks like Blacksburg's got a bit of size on Radford as well, which isn't too surprising. Radford isn't usually that big a team. Blacksburg got some size. Kick it off, Dave. And it's taken by Richards. Richards out to the 15, 20, 25, and brought down to the 28-yard line. Number 76, Tom Kinley, on the defensive flag for the special team, so Blacksburg will take over first and 10 at the 28-yard line. Matt Smith is the quarterback, 28 out of 45 for 353 yards in the first two games. Also, you'll see Jason Price, William Grayson, also Chad Long. Number 41 is Price, and number 21 is the tailback, William Grayson. There's a handoff to Grayson. Grayson's got yardage. Grayson going to drive all the way across the 40 out to the 41-yard line. The middle of that defense, led by Patrick Mills and Dickie Good, along with Brett Tony, brought him down. Nothing fancy. Your basic all-tackle player. Good play to start the game with, but right away we saw a good surge by the Indians offensive line, and they're here to play tonight. Dave, regardless of the outcome of the game, is one thing I'll tell you right now. We talked about the coaching. Let's talk about the intensity. The intensity of this game will also be 15 on the 10 scale. First and 10. There goes Grayson. Grayson's got yardage. Grayson's going all the way down to the 50 and inside the 50 to Radford territory on the 49. Number 13 was there defensively, Casey Underwood, the 5'8", 142-pound sophomore. But certainly William Grayson off to a very quick start for Blacksburg High School. In the pregame, you guys both talked about how Blacksburg is going to the air a lot this year, which is not their norm. Do you think maybe that Radford's thinking pass first and run second and they're getting burned early? Well, the early part of the ball game, you always look for the ball on first down or second down. So since Blacksburg established a running game, you might see a play-action pass here shortly. There's a handoff to Price. Price doesn't get much that time. Gets across the 48 down to about the 47. Once again, defensively, Dickie Good, along with Tommy Edwards, was there. They gained two. It'll be second and 8 for Radford High School. The ball resting at the Radford 47-yard line. That was a big play, I think, for Radford defense. After two first downs on 2 runs, they stopped for a short game. So that's got to be a little bit of a morale booster for the Bobcats. Officials are talking this one over right now. The clock, Garland Berry saying, get the clock running again, and there it is. So the clock's starting back up. We are just underway here in the first quarter. 10 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. With Blacksburg taking the opening kickoff, getting 2 first downs, and now in Radford territory at the Bobcat 47. There goes Smith. Oh, intended out there for Kevin Should, but it was covered very nicely by a couple of those defensive backs there. Myers was the man, should have had it right through his hands, almost too easy probably. He was in perfect position, his eyes lit up a little bit as we see the ball overthrown, and Brandon was right down on the spot, and maybe he had the goal line right in his eyes, as he could have probably gone all the way, but you got to catch it before you can run with it. Oh, it's more difficult to do than it was, isn't it, Don? Here goes Smith again, doesn't look to throw, can't find anybody, decides to run, and he'll get maybe a yard, and that's it. Refusing to give up was number 85 defensively for the Radford Bobcats, Jim Richardson, a 6'1", 172-pound senior, and he brings down the quarterback for a yard gain, but he is 7 yards shy of first down yardage. The ball just shy of the 46-yard line in Radford territory. Let's try ran out of gas a little bit, but let's remember one thing. They did establish a running game. Also, should they get the punt off, they should have Radford back up pretty close to their goal line, so it may be a game of field position. Matt Smith will punt it, and he gets the punt off. It will get a pretty good bounce, and it will be dead down around the 15-yard line. But let's see what this flag is. Boy, number 79 coming off for Radford, one of their big ones. That's Jason Cardin, 5'9", 250-pounder. Let's see what the penalty is. Might be ineligible receiver downfield. I wasn't one of the greatest puncher, obviously, but at least it had him back up there, around that 20-yard line. Okay, that's a new one on me, guys. I don't know what the heck that signal was. When Garland does a game, he always has something in store for us. I don't know what this one is here. I'm not sure what that calls. Looks like the one against Radford, does it not? Yeah, and now it is. It's against Radford. First down from Radford, correct? So, boy. Big play, whatever that signal was, to set the official handbook for the new signals this year. I don't know what it was. Don doesn't either. I saw Garland Berry go with his hand behind his head. To be that big a penalty, it has to be something pretty serious. It possibly could have been too many men on the field. And it looked like the, one of those ineligible receivers downfield or something. But anyway, it goes, there goes Grayson again, and Grayson gets 5. Ineligible receivers don't have to on passing situations, Dave, not punting situations. That's right. Whatever it was, it was a big penalty. That's right, I'll check with Garland next time. We need one of those field mics like they have in the NFL. That's what we need. It is a gain, however, 5 yards for Blacksburg. 2nd and 5, the ball resting just shy of the Radford 25. There's Price, and he gets first down yardage. So this has been an impressive job for Blacksburg. They held on to the football over 3 minutes and are driving for a touchdown, aided by that penalty. Little things mean a lot in the football game, and I did just figure out the penalty. What it is the illegal use of equipment. And apparently what happens when the ball is snapped, the players have to have their mouthpiece in. One of them probably has kicked the mouthpiece out of the mouth and didn't get it back in time, so that's a big penalty because safety is such an important factor. First down. There's a handoff. Grayson breaks the tackle. And boy, Grayson is running with tremendous authority. Brought down by number 13, Casey Underwood, but not before he gains about 6 yards. And these first down gains by Blacksburg, definitely a big plus. Oh, no question. Big confidence booster for Blacksburg. Radford's got to find a way to stop him, Dave. That's another gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. The ball resting inside the Radford 15 of the 14. There goes Smith. Gives it to Grayson. Grayson going to send down to about the 9, close to first down yardage, might be just shy of it. As defensively coming on to do the job was number 16 for Radford. That's Wayne Lineburg, the coach's son, and he does the job defensively, so it will be a gain of about 5, and will be third and less than a yard. I would love to see a play action pass right here. I would love to see that. There's Grayson, he doesn't get the yardage. Number 21 was in there very quickly, Tommy Edwards. As Edwards closed on through there to drop Grayson back to about the 15-yard line. But they'll mark it at the 12. Right away you see the poor decision by Dave Chris. He's on the road, he wants to win this football game. He's forced to do a force about 4 in front of the field, which is very easy to gamble, but he's going to go for the field goal because it's the first thing he wants to do. Being away from home, he wants to get on the scoreboard first. A very good coaching decision, I think. Allen Howze will try the placement. Matt Smith will be the holder. The kick is up, and it is no good. So Blacksburg misses that opportunity, and with a score here, Blacksburg High School nothing, Radford nothing. We'll be back with more action right after this commercial timeout.
Getting its first opportunity on offense. Lineburg is the quarterback, hands it off to Edwards, and Edwards will drive out to about the 24-yard line. So now Blacksburg will be going on the defense, and Wayne Lineburg will lead the Radford offense with Tommy Edwards, Brett Toney, Willie Delaney. And defensively for Blacksburg, Micah Sales, Eric Fitz, John Thacker, Jeff Dodson, and Chris Smith along that front forward wall. There goes to Edwards. Edwards is to the 30, 35, 40, and finally Matt Smith was there along with Allen Howze to bring him down. It was Tommy Edwards, who at 5'11", 185 pounds, the senior, coming into this game had 170 yards in the first 2 games, averaging better than 6 yards a carry.
You know what I like about that run? He just put his head down. He had an opportunity to try to beat the guy out, but he just buckled the chin strap and went after him.
Well, his last name is Edwards, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later because he comes from a pretty good football family. But the thing that I liked about the call was the fact that Norman Lineburg lined up, got good foots in his line, ran motion to the wide side of the field, and the running play came back to the short side, so they caught Blacksburg over-shifting to the strong side.
And there is a timeout here on the field with a score, Radford High School nothing, Blacksburg High nothing. We'll be back right after this commercial timeout. Man out there with some tremendous running room is Dwayne Pearson. Pearson is at the 20. He's at the 15, 10, 5 touchdown. Dwayne Pearson as Wayne Lineburg goes 60 yards to Dwayne Pearson and in for the touchdown.
Well, what a thing of beauty. That was an well-executed screen pass. There you'll see the back slip right out, and they have perfect blocking set up for him. So watch the moves as he makes as he goes down the sideline and breaks to the open area right here with acceleration, and it's Katie bar the door from right there.
That is some good speed by old Dwayne Pearson.
Good play. Go to the air, good things happen. I like that.
There's the extra point. It is up, and it is good. So the extra point makes it 7 for Radford and nothing for Blacksburg.
Well, that's when your quarterback really goes over and pats his running back on the back because the quarterback completed a 1-yard pass or maybe a pass right at the line of scrimmage and got credit for about a 65-yard touchdown pass. So that'll look good on his
It sure will. It sure will. It was a nice play. Good call.
Old Wayne Lineburg had completed 8 of 16 passes coming into this game for 193 yards. Right there, he got 60 of it. So he's well on his way. He might equal his total for the first 2 games in this game.
Might
if that's
happen.
any indication.
Like those 1-yard passes and let him go 60 yards. That's great.
That might be one, like you would say, that maybe a Steeler would throw. Say a Bubby Brister to Eric Green.
No. If Bubby Brister was throwing that ball, it'd have been over that guy's head by 10 yards. Now, Bernie might have made that play, Dave.
Casey Underwood will do the kicking off for Radford. Once again, Richards is back deep for Blacksburg High School, and also number 8, Nick Burrows.
Don, you've been around this game a long time. How much of a psychological advantage is it for Radford to score the first time they touch the ball?
Well, the psychological advantage really probably took place when the field goal was missed. We talked about Dave wanting to get on the scoreboard first. The kick was plenty far enough. It just didn't quite get through there. Naturally, your defense lets down a little bit when they go on the field, and all of a sudden you see 6 points to the other way.
There's the kick, and it will go out of bounds as Grayson was following it, but it is out of bounds, and so Blacksburg will probably take it out at the 40. 1st and 10. Trailing here now 7-0 as the 60-yard touchdown pass play from Lineburg to Dwayne Pearson.
No, they changed that rule. It's a penalty on the kickoff now. That rule where they got the ball on the 40, that was really an unfair rule if there's ever been one. So what they're going to do is they're going to penalize them back and make them kick it over. And this, again, is a situation where, with a good return, that Blacksburg can get good field position.
Here goes Underwood. He will kick off once again. As we say, Grayson back deep, Burrows back deep, and also number 5, Richards. The short kick and some yardage out across the 40 out to the 43-yard line. So exactly as was mentioned, getting that good field position for Blacksburg High School.
No question. Puts them in a good opportunity. They had a nice first drive. First time they had the ball, ran the ball right down the field. Now they're in great field position to try to do that one more time.
Coming into this game for Blacksburg, number 24, Kevin Shug, had caught 16 passes this year and averaged about 16 yards a catch. So you might be seeing him into this offense. He's also got tremendous size, 6'3", 200 pounds, and a junior. There goes Grayson, and this time they snuffed it out perfectly. Number 69 for Radford was there as he did the job very effectively. Coming in there was Bobby Collins, also some help from Eric Phipps and company. There is a loss of yardage, also an official's timeout to check out the equipment placement. The ball resting at the 42-yard line, 2nd down and 10, 4:40 left in this first quarter.
Dave, Radford is in a 5-2 monster defense, and then this means that at all times they're going to have an extra man to the wide side of the field. That time, Blacksburg tried to attack back to the short side, but they had the unfortunate situation of running at number 64, Patrick Mills, who's 6'4", weighs 265, and he's going to plug up that tackle position pretty well, so they might have to run outside of him rather than right at him.
There's Smith. Smith gets away, looking. And now he's going to throw the football, and Shug makes the catch. Fine catch by Kevin Shug as he caught that ball at about the 40 and driven out of bounds at the 35 by number 33, Brett Toney.
Radford had a blitz zone. The blitz worked. They got to Smith, but the bad news was they didn't bring him down. And as he scrambles out to his left, he does something that it's very hard for a quarterback, and that is to run to your left and square your shoulders up and throw the football. He could have gained some more yardage running, but watch him as he squares his shoulders and really gets something on this ball. Bobbled a little bit by the receiver, but he brings it down, and that's the important thing.
So there's, again, yardage by Blacksburg. This time they take it out to the 30-yard line. And so the Indians, as they did on their first series after taking the opening kickoff and driving down inside the 10, are moving the football once again.
Very impressive offensive show so far for Blacksburg. As you mentioned, Dave, both times they've touched the ball, they've taken it right down to the field. Missed one field goal. We'll see what happens this time.
3:40 and counting left, first quarter, 7-0 Radford in the lead, but Blacksburg driving in Radford territory at the 30. Smith again looking. This time he's sacked at the 36-yard line as the defense came in very quickly as Dickie Good, along with Patrick Mills and company, were in there to bring him down as he loses back to the original line of scrimmage and brings up 3rd and 10.
3rd and long this time. You possibly might see a screen pass, but what you might see also is Smith trying to hit the tight end up the seam, because there is a seam the way those defensive backs are spread out, and sometimes a play-action fake will open up the seam area.
Here goes Smith looking. And Shug catches it at the 20 and carries it to the 16-yard line. Kevin Shug, number 9, had to make the play defensively. That was Brandon Byers, but what a catch by Kevin Shug.
Great concentration, being able to pull that ball in after the deflection.
Well, it is really tipped here, and this is what coaches work on week after week, is catching the ball once it's been tipped. It's usually the defensive backs that work on it, but again, we see it bobbled, and sometimes when you think things are the worst, good things happen.
So
That's two almost interceptions for Radford. And tell you what, they're going to have to start catching those balls.
And Shug has bobbled both of them, but he's caught both of the passes thrown to him. Here goes Grayson to the 10, 5, to the 2-yard line. Dwayne Pearson finally brings him down, but good hard running by William Grayson. And Grayson, the 145-pound junior, has picked up a lot of yardage here in this first quarter.
This shows you one thing. You stick in there on every play. Smith looked like he was going to be sacked, but he hung in there and completed a big pass. And then all of a sudden we saw a receiver think a ball was going to be intercepted. Then we get good running from Grayson. So with first down on the 2-yard line, they've got 4 downs to smack this one in. And I promise you, you won't see a field goal try from anywhere down here this time.
First and goal, the ball at the 2. There's the handoff to Price, and Price not quite in there as the middle of that line. Number 55 was there defensively for Radford High School. Dickie Good was in there, also Tommy Edwards, and they stop him at the 1-yard line. It'll be second and goal at the 1. We're down to a minute and a half and counting left in this first quarter, a very rapidly played first quarter.
Dave, I don't know about you, but I'd put it in the air.
He likes to throw the football, this guy.
Throw the football.
Well, I'm conservative myself. I would run 3 quarterback sneaks because I don't even want to handle the football down here. I want to get in here and tie this football game up with 1 yard to go. I figure I can make it if I try it 3 times.
Well, he likes the call of Matt Pumo. Throws, touchdown, Kevin Shug. How do you like that?
Matt should have been the quarterback.
Well, he likes that quarterback's name, too, Matt Smith, but we'll see it right here as a nice play, and Shug is wide open in that left side of the end zone.
As Don hit on earlier, he rolled left and threw it back to his right a little bit. That's a tough pass, and he put it right on the money right there.
Boy,
that was
Shug
pretty.
with 3 catches already and 1 touchdown, and now Howze will try and add the extra point to tie this game.
I think we got a good game going, Dave.
We sure do. This looks like we might have some points. And if you're wondering, too, here, of course, lighting here in the Radford. This stadium built about 1967, so you won't see the most phenomenal lighting at Radford High School, but nonetheless a heck of a good place to play, and we're just glad to be up here.
You're right, Dave. It was about 1966, I believe, and I think it was a helicopter that helped them get the light stands into the ground because it rained so darn much that day.
Have an interesting situation on the field. On the attempted conversion after the touchdown, there was a penalty against Radford. They have been penalized half the distance to the goal line. This is a perfect opportunity for a 2-point conversion. When you're playing to win, you're not playing to tie. So we see Dave Chris coming back in with his offensive team. They're going to go for 2 and try to grab that lead.
I think it's a great call. Go for 2.
Matt Smith is in there. The quarterback looking. Can't find anybody, and he will be sacked. They went for the 2-point conversion, but they refused to give ground as Brett Toney, number 33, was there, and you'll see the opportunity here at the 2-point conversion, but just tremendous penetration by Radford High School.
All over him. He didn't have an open receiver. The receiver got stuck on the line, and he had no place to go except down, but I still think it's a good call, and I think it's still early in the ball game that at this point in time, that 1 point's not going to make that big a difference.
So Radford remains in the lead, 7. Blacksburg 6. We'll be back. Pearson and then Matt Smith and Kevin Shug for Blacksburg teamed up. The only difference is the extra point by Radford, and they lead 7-6. Here goes the kickoff, taking it to 10. Down across the 20 out to the 24-yard line. And Radford will take over 1st and 10 on their 24-yard line. Carrying with that was Willie Delaney for Radford High School.
I imagine the coaches on the Blacksburg sideline are probably saying, watch the screen.
That would be a very, very astute comment by the coach. I will say this, very, very nice and cool up in the press box tonight. Man.
Feels like Africa.
Here's the handoff. Not much running room,
nice
but
move.
then he breaks the tackle to the 35, to the 40,
look out.
to the 45, 50, to the 45, and finally ridden down at the 30-yard line. Number 21, Tommy Edwards, and the only one between him and the goal line for the Blacksburg High School Indians was Nick Burrows.
Well, now's the time to mention it. I've been holding back all night. But watch number 21 as he comes to his left side. Watch this running as he shucks off a player there. You'll see him lower his shoulder and just punish his tacklers as they come in. And it reminds me of somebody that did a lot of good running up at Virginia Tech back in the late 60s by the name of Kenny Edwards, his proud father.
And Kenny Edwards, as he mentioned, a great running back, and Tommy picking up right there. He's 5'11", 185 pounds, and you can see his ability to run the football. There he goes again. Another gainer, right, all the way up to about the 21-yard line. He is met there by number 68 defensively for Blacksburg High School as the Indians penetrate in there, and that's Eric Fitz. And that is the end of the first quarter here with a score. Radford High School 7, Blacksburg High 6. We'll be back with second quarter action right after this. We are ready to start the second quarter with Radford High School on the 23-yard line of Blacksburg. Second down and about 3 for the Bobcats as we get going in the second quarter. There goes Edwards. Edwards to the 20. Edwards down to the 15-yard line. And Allen Howze was there to bring him down, but not before Edwards gets some tremendous yardage across the 20 down to the 16. And, boy, you've got to be impressed with this youngster, Tommy Edwards.
Oh, no question about it. The guy is a football player. That's all I can say. He's got the instincts. He's got the ability. He's a hard-nosed kid. Can play the game and play it well.
First and 10, 11 and a half minutes left. Oh, there's Edwards. He bobbles it this time, and I think Blacksburg came up with a football.
I think they do, Dave. I think you're right.
That time, the ball never was able to get to Edwards, and it was recovered by number 42 for Blacksburg as he came and gets that football as the Blacksburg Indians come up with that big defensive play.
A big one it was, because anytime you go for the two-point conversion and you fail, there is a little bit of a psychological letdown. So that was a big series for their defense to come up with the turnover. Now their key is to go down and try to score. And Coach Dave Chris is saying, after we score, fellas, this is what we're going to do for the 2. He's being very positive about the situation.
That was Jeff Dodson who came up with that football, and Price doesn't get much there. So Jeff Dodson gets the recovery of the Edwards fumble, and just like that, Radford driving down inside the 15, but give the football up, and Blacksburg has first and 10, and then on first down gains 2 yards, so it's second and 8.
What do you think they're going to do here, Dave?
Let's try a play-action pass right here.
He's going to the air. He's got it. Look out.
Some good yardage there as teaming up with number 12. It looks like that's Stephen Christ. And if you know and recognize that name, Stephen, of course, the son of Dave Christ.
Well, we've got Lineburgs on both sides, and we've got Chris is there also making that fine reception. But let's give Matt Smith a lot of credit because he threaded the needle right between 2 defenders on a quick look-in pass.
I like that play. I like that pass. I think it's a great play. Good way to get some quick yardage.
First and 10. The ball across the 40. Here's Grayson. Grayson, who was gaining a lot of yardage early on, has had it snuffed out somewhat here by that Radford defense. Gets to the 44. Number 69 was there defensively for that Radford defense, as coming on nicely was Jason Roberts and also some help from Patrick Mills.
Dave, a minute ago you mentioned the fact that it was cool up in this press box. You were being very facetious. Let's remember one thing. Along that front line, the Blacksburg offense has a size advantage over Radford. As the game progresses in this humidity tonight, we may see them gain a little bit of an advantage in rushing the football. Not on that play, though.
That was Chad Long, and Long, the 175-pound junior, once again tries to test that defensive front, and not much at all, as the Radford Bobcats were there very nicely and coming on to do the job Dickie Good. Third down 5. The ball resting at the 45. Fairly rapidly played first half here with 8:40 and counting left. Look, throwing. There's Shug with a penalty marker down. He gets to the 45, 44-yard line, but let's check out the penalty, and that's the kind of thing that if it's against Blacksburg can kill you.
That's probably a hold in that area, I would imagine.
That's exactly what it is.
Number 58 for Christiansburg, Dallas Strager, his father, Duke Strager.
That's right.
Defensive coach for the Virginia Tech Hokies. So he's got a little football blood in his body.
That's right. Always seems, of course, Blacksburg gets a lot of the coaches, and the Farrells were both important instruments in Blacksburg's attack the last couple of years and have since graduated. And, of course, Eddie Farrell, the fine trainer for the Hokies of Virginia Tech. But that penalty hurts Blacksburg, because now it is 3rd and 16 and all the way back at their 35 instead of a first down in Radford territory. Smith almost had that ball picked up by number 7, Dwayne Pearson, the young man who scored the touchdown, but it bounced off, incomplete, and Matt Smith will come on to do the punting.
When you throw a drop-back pass into the middle of the field on 3rd and extremely long yardage, your percentages aren't real good, because those defensive backs know how far you got to go. They're dropping back, reading the drop back, and they react to the football. So they were very fortunate that that pass was not intercepted.
So Smith will do the punting.
Look out.
And Smith gets it off. That's Delaney. Delaney is hit at the 40, and that is as far as he gets. Number 43, Brian Alls, was there. And so Willie Delaney takes it, gets about a yard, and that's all. And so the Radford Bobcats will take over 1st and 10 on their own 39-yard line with a 7-6 lead here with 8 minutes exactly left in this first half.
I could get assassinated. I think I said Christiansburg, didn't I, instead of Blacksburg? Oh, I am sorry. Good gosh. If I walked outside, I'd be in deep trouble at this point. Hey, but first time back in 7 months, so.
That's right.
You got to expect that.
Get the cobwebs out.
Check it out, rookie.
There's Edwards. Good running room, and he crosses the 40 out to about the 42-yard line. Sheeler was there along with John Thacker to bring him down.
Kind of reminds me of old Merrill Hodge, doesn't he, the way he runs that football?
Merrill Hodge, nothing fancy, but bread and butter. And Edwards, who, as we say, averaged over 6.5 yards per carry coming into this game, continuing to run the football very effectively for Coach Norm Lineburg. There's Lineburg. Incomplete. He was aiming for number 12 out there, Chris Hairston.
He was open, had a step on the guy.
First time we've seen one of those long passes by Lineburg.
Well, it was a good play-action pass, and the other good thing about it is the fact that they did throw it to the sideline. The percentages for completion were so-so, but the percentages as far as it being intercepted were good also. So it was a very safe call, and with 3rd and about 7, we'll probably see them put the ball in the air again. And let's remember, they were very effective with the screen pass.
There's the play as he was talking, and it is fired incomplete. So this will bring on the 3rd down and 7 for Radford. The ball at the 42-yard line. Lineburg has time, has his man, Pearson at the 40, and this time he is met by a whole host of Blacksburg defenders, including James Sheeler and also number 61, Allen Howze. So it will bring on 4th and about 5 or 6 and punting time for the Radford Bobcats.
Well, I called it right finally. I've been calling for the screen all year, and I got it, and it wasn't a big gain, but Lineburg really didn't do a good job of selling that. He didn't look quite downfield long enough to make him think he was going to throw long, dumped it off, and the defense was able to react.
And there is a timeout here on the field as Radford going to call it and talk things over. And so as both teams discuss things, the score here, Radford High School 7, Blacksburg High 6. And we're ready for action once again, as on to do the punting for the Radford High School Bobcats is number 8. That's Willie Delaney. And back deep, number 3, Matt Smith for Blacksburg High School. And Delaney has it blocked and almost picked up by number 6. That's David Houston, but nonetheless it is blocked, and the Blacksburg Indians came in, blocked the punt. David Houston falls on it, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Blacksburg, the ball resting inside the Radford 40.
Well, if you remember, Dave, they came very close to blocking the punt a minute ago. It's an excellent call by Coach Lineburg to go back after it because of the fact, it's Blacksburg that's blocking it, so it's a good call on their side, because anytime you can block a punt, you're talking about a psychological advantage, but they take the ball over in Radford territory.
The ball at the 37, Smith looking, throwing, has his man Shug again, and this time across the 30 down to the 29. Once again, the defense doing its job, but not before they gain yardage, and you'll see the quarterback, Matt Smith, hit his favorite target, Kevin Shug.
I'll tell you, that is really a dynamic duo, because Smith really throws it on the button, but what hands Shug has. He's just a wonderful receiver.
So it will be 2nd down and short, about 2 yards, the ball resting on the 30. This is the kind of play maybe that they might fake the run, but instead go with it, and Grayson looks like 1st down yardage. Brett Toney and company were there to bring him down, but not before he gets a 1st down. We're down to 5 minutes left in this first half, and what has been a very quickly moving first half. If you just joined us, Radford scored on a Philip Lineburg to Dwayne Pearson touchdown pass, the extra point good. That made it 7-0. Then Blacksburg came back with a touchdown pass of a yard from quarterback Matt Smith to Kevin Shug. The extra point missed, and that's how we stand at 7-6. Here goes Smith, got his man, and it is complete as they threw it right down there to Stephen Christ. And once again, the 5'9", 125-pound junior did the job, once again teaming up with Matt Smith.
Well, Stephen Christ showed a lot of poise in going down and catching that football, but the good thing about it is Smith threw it low, so it was almost impossible to intercept. Sometimes in that part of the field, you'll see a quarterback anxious and overthrow the receiver only to come up with an interception. So he did keep it low. Chris went down to his knees, made a fine reception.
So it is 1st down and 10, the ball at about the 11.
Look at him.
Once again, this is Grayson. Grayson drives down to about the 4 or 5 yard line. Delaney was there, and also Casey Underwood, but not before Grayson gains about 6 yards.
Tell you what I'd do, Dave. Guess what I'd do this play? I'd throw the ball.
But Grayson running the ball very effectively right there, as he has all evening long. And Underwood and Delaney have to finish him off, but not before he gains about 7 yards. It's 2nd and 3 for the 1st down and 4 for the touchdown. There's Grayson. This time he is going nowhere. Number 33 was there. That is Brett Toney, who coming into this game had 18 tackles. He penetrated through there and makes the defensive play.
A great defensive play, and what that's going to do is going to change the play calling a little bit, because it does bring up 3rd down as we see the defense come up with a big stick here, just the way you're supposed to do, by driving them back where they came from. But it's going to change the play calling now because they were in a position to possibly run the ball a couple times and get it in. Now you're going to see a throw.
And the Indians will call timeout, and with a timeout here on the field, the score. Radford High School 7, Blacksburg 6. We'll be back right after this commercial timeout.
Right now, you can buy a brand new Hyundai XL with stereo cassette for $129 down, $129 a month at Southwest Virginia's value leader, First Team Hyundai Roanoke. Act now, and you can buy a new Hyundai Sonata with air conditioning, stereo cassette, and a whole bunch more, $99.99 at Southwest Virginia's value leader, First Team Hyundai Roanoke. Right now, you can buy a brand new Hyundai XL with stereo cassette for $129 down, $129 a month at Southwest Virginia's value leader, First Team Hyundai Roanoke.
Push this beast around for half an hour, and you'll know why they call it an iron. But now there's Steam Magic. It's so lightweight, you'll flip over it. Steam Magic is so easy to use, it actually makes ironing fun. Even 100% cotton is ready to wear in no time. Careful, that's a delicate silk blouse, but Steam Magic will never harm it. The only heat is from the steam itself. Put a perfect crease in your pants. Iron a sweater right on the hanger. You can't even harm these puffy decorations. Add this special nap brush for your velvet draperies, all your suede, velour, and corduroy. And what could be better for traveling? Steam Magic is the safest, easiest way there is to iron anything. And it's yours now for only $19.95. Here's how to order.
Call toll-free 1-800-453-5500. That's 1-800-453-5500. Or send $19.95 plus $4.50 shipping and handling to Steam Magic, P.O. Box 20, Los Angeles, California.
Back to action here. Matt Smith looking, throwing, touchdown. As he hits number 43 for that touchdown for Blacksburg High School. That's Brian Alls.
That's the pass we talked about a moment ago, Dave, where you fake the play action. They had wide receivers two ways, and the pass goes right up the seam. There's the fake to freeze the linebackers, and there the receiver is just in perfect position. An excellent football call at a key time. Remember one thing, they did spread the field out with their wide receivers to create the seam.
And once again now, and we'll hold it here, Blacksburg calls a timeout, as that is not what you like to do after getting a touchdown, but it looks like they may possibly go for that two-point conversion to make up for the one that they missed there.
And that'd be a good reason to do it, because they did miss the first one. And interesting call. What does Coach Christ have up his sleeve this time? Try to roll out pass last time, and he got smothered. What will they do this time?
I don't know. They could possibly go wide to Grayson, but Don, one of the things about Blacksburg, and they've proven it in their first two games, they must have a ton of passing yardage already in this first half.
I would say they do, and the thing about it that this shows is that they work very hard on it. It's not a kind of thing where you just come out and throw a pass every now and then. They're well schooled in the passing game. They have a drop-back attack. They have a play-action attack. But the most important thing that they have is an excellent sense of timing between the quarterback and his receivers. And I would just like to know how much time that they dedicate to the passing game in practice each week, because they do it well.
Smith will be the quarterback with only Jason Price, number 41, behind him. Here goes Smith, looking. Once again, the pressure is on, and he's going to throw incomplete. Wow, the pressure put on by Radford, and he had to throw under duress. Fired it, and it is incomplete.
Dave Chris's thinking that time was that he showed the same look as when he scored the touchdown. He had the exact same formation. He had the exact same motion man. He knew that the tight end was going to be covered that time. They wanted to show the same action, but to throw to a different receiver. But alertly, the Radford defense was right there.
So, with a timeout here on the field, the score, Blacksburg High School 12, Radford High 7. We'll be back with a kickoff right after this commercial timeout.
Are you unhappy with your job? You know it's tough to find a satisfying position with potential for advancement. To get ahead, you need skills. At Dominion Business School, we'll give you those skills. Common sense programs that prepare you for today's most sought-after positions. And you won't have to give up your present job to attend. So, if you're unhappy with your job, do something about it. You owe it to yourself. Maybe you owe it to someone else, too. Call Dominion Business School today.
Static can make your skirt do the twist. Static can make your hair take off. And Static can leave you hanging. The more you move, the more static can build up. But you can stop static cling with Bounce. Bounce leaves clothes virtually static-free. It won't stop you! Bounce stops static before static stops you.
And we are underway here, and there is a short kick fallen on by Brett Toney as he fell on it on the 28-yard line. So Radford, with the 3:50 left in this first half, will take over 1st and 10 on their own 28-yard line.
Fairly decent field position to start this drive, Dave. As you said, they've got 3 minutes or so to try to get down the field, and they've been able to move the ball pretty well. They just had a stall the last couple of drives. Maybe a screen pass.
Lineburg, who has a 60-yard touchdown pass to his credit. And there's the handoff, but the penalty marker will come down, and we'll see what this one is against. It looks like it's against Blacksburg, and it is. So it will be a 5-yard penalty, and instead of 1st and 10, we'll make it 1st and 5 for Blacksburg.
That hopes a little bit for if you're a Radford fan, doesn't it?
That's the kind you like. You get a 1st and 5. That gives you a couple of 3 downs to get 5 yards. And the way Edwards runs, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. This time, however, they give it instead to number 7, Pearson. And Pearson, who has the touchdown, gains close to 1st down yardage, maybe a little shy. The middle of that defense, John Thacker and James Sheeler there to bring him down.
Well, they're setting something up. That fullback runs right up the middle, so that what that's going to do is that's going to set up a pitch later on where Lineburg's going to fake it to that fullback, go down the line on the option, and try to pitch it to the Edwards to the outside. You've got to show the fullback before the pitch to the tailback is going to work, and they showed it then.
Going to measure to see if it is a 1st down. It is not. It is shy by about a foot, so it will bring on 2nd and less than a yard. And that's always a time that sometimes you can maybe do something a little different.
A lot of coaches really love, you're talking about not being conservative, a lot of coaches love to run that play-action fake where they fake it to that fullback up in there and then try to throw deep. But Coach Lineburg doesn't want to make a mistake this time. He thinks he has plenty of time to drive it in before half.
And it's play action.
It is. There's
you gotta
Lineburg.
Like that.
He will not get the... Well, I think he might have gotten the 1st down, but barely. Number 30 came on for Blacksburg High School as he covered very nicely. That was John Thacker, but not before Lineburg gets the 1st down at the 39-yard line.
I like the call. As Don and I said, Don's a little conservative. I'm a little more wide open, but good movement here. He got away from trouble, and he got the 1st down. And if you're not going to complete the play the way you want it, at least you got a 1st down and made something positive out of nothing.
That's right. The one thing he did not want to do was throw the ball and have a possible interception. Instead, he gets the 1st down, and out at the 40-yard line, 4 more downs to go for it. There's Lineburg's got his man out there, incomplete. That was intended for number 8, Willie Delaney, but defensively on that coverage for Blacksburg High School was number 7, Houston, and it is incomplete, and that will bring on a 2nd and 10.
That was nice coverage there. Very nice coverage. It would have taken a perfect pass to get it in there, and it just didn't happen. Great defensive play.
The 2 Bobcats have sent. They sent no other receivers out in the pattern, so Blacksburg could easily read it and pick it up.
So it will be 2nd down and 10 for the Radford Bobcats. Going back to draw play.
There goes Edwards. Edwards 45. Edwards 48-yard line. He does not get the 1st down, however, as there to meet him first of all was number 51, James Sheeler. and then finished off by the rest of the defense, but close to first down yardage.
Note, they are not going into the huddle. Wells School football team, it's 3rd and short. They're not going into the huddle. They're calling the play at the line. It's very important that they pick this up in order to keep the drive going, in order to stop the clock momentarily.
There's Lineburg's got his man, and he's got the first down and out of bounds at the 46-yard line as it was completed to number 12, Chris Hairston.
And just as we talked about how well schooled the Blacksburg passing game, look at that. Radford didn't even go into the huddle. They call a pass play on the line of scrimmage. Not only did they complete it and get the first down, but look where that pass went. Right to the sideline. They're out of bounds. They stopped the clock. I mentioned coaches, both coaches being a 15 on a 10 scale. They may have even gone up a little higher as a result of some of the calls they've made tonight.
There goes Lineburg. Edwards gaining yardage, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5.
Touchdown. Give it to him.
Unreal. A 56-yard run by Tommy Edwards.
Not only a 56 yards, but a run, but a thing of beauty. And as we watch that one again, just watch this young man as he picks his way through, but he knows the exact time to use his acceleration. He gets a good block on the side over there, and watch right here as he breaks those 2 tackles. That is acceleration, ladies and gentlemen. And this youngster is a fine athlete. He carries his name proudly.
Extra point, and an all-important one because it can add to the lead, and it is good. That makes it a 14-12 lead as Casey Underwood gets in for the touchdown. And so 2 long touchdown plays for Radford, and they're back in the lead with just 1:36 left in the first half. It's Radford 14, Blacksburg 12. We'll be back right after this commercial timeout.
He's only 18 pounds, but the responsibility you have for him weighs much more. A Nationwide agent can help take some of that weight off your shoulders with life insurance that grows as your family grows. All part of Nationwide's blanket protection for you and your family.
Nationwide is on your side.
For all your Nationwide insurance needs, call Kelly Shelton in Fairlawn at 639-9602.
Needless to say, we have had some offense in this game tonight, a little bit of everything. Passing game very much in evidence. Of course, the running of the likes of Tommy Edwards for the Radford Bobcats, and of course Blacksburg led by William Grayson. So there's been a little bit of everything, and back in the lead is Radford 14-12 as they have gotten 2 touchdown plays, one of 60 yards, Lineburg to Pearson, and then a run of 56 yards by Tommy Edwards.
Personally, for me, I think it's refreshing to see high school ball in the air, not just giving it 3 yards in a cloud of dust. For me, I think this is great.
It sure is. It's a lot of action and plenty of scoring. Look out, here goes a return across the 26 to about the 28-yard line. Number 8 on the return was Nick Burrows, and on to bring him down, Brent Brown, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blacksburg Indians.
Talking about action, Dave, we've had a long run as a pass reception. We've had a long run from the line of scrimmage. We've had an attempted field goal. We've had 2 attempted 2-point conversions. We've had a fumble. We've had a block kick. And we've had some smashing hitting going on the field. And it's still not even halftime. So what can we expect the second half?
Other than that, we haven't had much anything, I tell you. It is something else. It's been a dandy with a minute left in this first half. Matt Smith with a penalty marker down, going to throw the football to Shug, and it is incomplete. That time, right on him was number 8, Willie Delaney.
Well, they took a little bit of a chance that time because Smith had pressure on him, and he actually sort of threw that ball up for grabs. He got a lot on it, but there were 2 defensive backs right there with just a little over a minute and a half. And last thing that you want is an interception, because even though you're at this part of the field, should you not move the ball, you can maybe kill the clock and get in and regroup at halftime. But knowing the way these 2 teams play, there's no such thing as killing the clock. And I see there's a penalty on the play. So what looked like a bad situation, all of a sudden it's turned into a good one. And the way Smith can throw this football, look for some sideline routes, getting out of bounds, the same kind of drive we saw a minute ago, effective use of the clock.
This is about the third or fourth time that Radford has gotten a hand on the football from the defensive side. They've had 3 deflections and 1 in the end zone on the 2-point conversion. Pretty soon one of those things is going to stick in somebody's hands, and it's going to be a TO.
Just a minute left in the first half. 1st and 10 for Blacksburg at the Radford 38. There's Smith going to throw the football to Shug, and that time he couldn't hold on. Number 8, Willie Delaney, the 135-pound senior, who has played very well in that defensive backfield for the Bobcats, broke it up.
Well, Matt almost caught it because the linebacker, Jeremy Layton, got a hand on that football then. That was a pass where they tried to go up the seam. But let's remember this, it's almost a sure passing situation because of the fact that they're limited in time. You might see them try to run a draw to offset the rush. There's going to be pressure on the quarterback. The defensive secondary is going to be dropped back as well as the linebackers.
Only 58 seconds left in the half. Here goes the quarterback, Smith. Smith looking, can't find anybody. Now going to throw long. He's got his man out there, but overshoots the mark. It was intended for number 43, Brian Alls, but number 7, Dwayne Pearson, was right with him, and he fires it incomplete.
Well, Smith's arm isn't very strong. He only threw that about 48 yards in the air.
I tell you.
I like the way he bought time there. He got a little bit of rush, moved out to the left side of the line, and then let it unfly. Why not?
Especially with just 50 seconds left, the way these two teams can get big plays in a hurry, you can score from anywhere on the field.
Well, if Blacksburg doesn't convert, look for Radford to come after the punt. They got their feelings hurt when they had a punt block, so if they don't convert, Radford will come after them.
There goes Smith, and he's got his man. 1st down once again, as it is caught at the 40-yard line and caught there by number 5, Neal Richards. Richards comes through with the catch, and Richards, 5'8", 140 pounds, but boy, I like the pizzazz that quarterback Matt Smith had on that ball.
Nice strong arm, threw it, as they say, a frozen rope on that one, Dave.
And he gets the 1st down in Radford territory at the 40. Once again, Smith going to throw the football, and Shug cannot catch it, but we also have a penalty marker down as we have 24 seconds left in the half.
I have to think back to last year, Dave, when we did the game up at Salem, between Salem and Blacksburg. Salem won the game, but Blacksburg drove right to the 4-yard line at the end of the game, and that night we just commented over and over how impressive Farrell was as a quarterback. Then all of a sudden he leaves, and Smith comes right along and takes his place. Even though he's a senior, I tell you, he's got such great possibilities because of the fact that he stands in there tall, and he does have a rifle arm.
And, of course, back before Farrell was quarterback, the coach's son, Brian Christ, was quite a quarterback, led him to that state championship season, and now the backup quarterback at Hampton-Sydney.
If we spend the whole evening going back through the coach's sons, we're going to have fun tonight because both of them have been very successful in having sons to be parts of their program and go on to greater things.
There's Smith with time, looking, going to throw the football, and Shug gets the yardage, but it's short yardage, maybe about 3 or 4 yards. Good defensive play there by Willie Delaney, and that will bring on with 9 seconds. The clock is running down to 5 seconds. Remember, Blacksburg had to call a couple of timeouts, and that time they throw it out of bounds. And with 2 seconds left, they will have maybe one more play left out of the arm of Matt Smith. So it will be a 3rd down and 9, but that really isn't the important thing. Only 2 seconds on the clock left in this first half. Don't forget, at halftime, we will have the Leeds music, halftime presentation, and we're going to have Allen Howze trying a field goal from the 46. This is a 56-yard attempt, and that one is blocked, and it is picked up by one of the Indians. Number 42 came up with that football for Blacksburg, and that will end the first half as it is over in what has been a very extremely well-played first half. 14-12 is the score in favor of Radford High School.
Radford had such a good rush that I actually thought the man may have been offsides, but they were really through there to put pressure on the kicker. One thing in that situation you might think, why would they try it that far? Had they been able to draw them offsides and get a 5-yard penalty, it would have brought them a little closer, maybe for a 51-yarder. That's almost unheard of for high school, but yet again, in this world of today, as strong as youngsters are, you can see a little bit of everything, and on the first field goal, it certainly wasn't the fact that it wasn't long enough, it was just wide.
All right, so the score here at halftime, 14-12. We'll be back with our halftime activities, but first, let's take this commercial timeout.
When the class bell rings, your child becomes my child, too. So I'm going to do everything I can to help that kid succeed. But I can't do it all. Kids grow up so fast. We just get one chance to give them what they need. So what we give has to be the best. The best help you can give at home has always been Encyclopedia Britannica. It has a unique 4-part learning system that makes it easy to use. There's the 2-volume index for finding information fast, the 12-volume ready reference section for quick lookups, 17 volumes of knowledge and depth for complete coverage of entire subject areas, and an outline of knowledge to prepare your child for further study. Britannica is written in today's language, and thousands of illustrations make it fun to use. So it helps kids develop a lasting love of learning, and that makes a big difference in school and in their lives. This booklet will tell you more, and it's free. To get it, just call this toll-free number. Then, when you preview Britannica in your home, you also get this 3-volume desk reference set free. There's no obligation. Look, if we want terrific things to happen for your child, we've got to work together. But right now, all you have to do is make one toll-free call. Oh, there's the bell. Well, I've got a class to teach, and you've got a call to make.
For your free booklet and details on how to receive your 3-volume desk reference set, call toll-free.
And we're at Bobcat Stadium as the second half ready to just about get underway. 14-12 is the score here after one half of play for the Blacksburg High School Indians. They've had a couple of touchdowns but missed both conversions as quarterback Matt Smith has been very effective, completing 9 out of 14 for 118 yards, and Kevin Shug, his favorite receiver, has caught 5 passes for 59 yards. Grayson, their leading ground gainer, 13 carries, 61 yards. And on the other side for the Radford High football team, 8 rushes for 139 yards for Tommy Edwards, and Wayne Lineburg completing 3 out of 4, 65 yards, including that long touchdown pass play, the first touchdown pass of the game when he was able to team up with Dwayne Pearson. A couple extra points, and that's how we stand at 14-12 in favor of Radford High School. Blacksburg, of course, 1-1 on the year, beating Giles and losing to Salem, and Radford with a couple of victories in their first 2 games, 2-0, looking for victory number 3 in this New River District opener for both ball clubs. We'll be back with the kickoff in this game with a score here, 14 for Radford, 12 for Blacksburg. But first, let's take this time out.
The gift of music. Wurlitzer's rental program puts the dream within reach. For poise, concentration, self-expression that grow with your child. For the confidence that comes with accomplishment. Satisfaction and personal pleasure that lasts a lifetime. Place our rich musical heritage in your child's hands with Wurlitzer.
Second half ready to get going. Allen Howze will kick off. Tommy Edwards back deep, among others, for Radford at the Bobcat Stadium. Howze gets the kick. It comes down short. Will be taken by number 12, Chris Hairston. Hairston breaks it across the 35 out to the 38-yard line, and that's where Radford High School will take over 1st and 10. They have the lead, 14-12.
Good field position for the Bobcats to start this second half. Very entertaining first half so far, Dave. Both teams move the ball effectively up and down the field, and hopefully we will see more of that now.
Boy, what a Tommy Edwards averaging about 16 yards a carry, but a lot of that credit as he takes that handoff and drives across the 40 to the 42. You got to give some credit to that offensive line. Jason Bales, Jimmy Slusher, Eric Yop, Sam Warren, and Jason Carden, along with their split ends, David Young and Chris Hairston, and also Jess Shull. They have done a fine job of opening up the holes, and Edwards, when he finds the running room, gains yardage, got 4 on that one, as you can see, and is stopped by Blacksburg's defense, 2nd and 6. There again, they drive across the 40 to the 45-yard line. A gain of about 3. It'll be on 3rd and about 3 for the first down.
Coach Lineburg really wants to put a score on the board here. He wants to put a good drive together, eat a lot of time up, but the other thing he wants to do with the score being 14-12, he's looking at the possibilities of tacking another one on that board, and that'll make a real, give him a real advantage, because Blacksburg would have to score twice to take the lead.
Those extra points, when you miss them, can really hurt you. There goes Edwards again, and Edwards across midfield down to the 43-yard line, and he is some kind of tough. He is brought down by the Blacksburg defense led by David Houston.
Perfect execution of the tailback drive play, and I'm telling you, drive is what he does. As the thing that impresses me so much about Tommy Edwards, other than the quick feet, is the fact that he lowers that shoulder and punishes tacklers. When you hit him, ladies and gentlemen, you know it, because he makes it sting.
Guess who? Tommy Edwards across the 40 to the 39-yard line, met by John Thacker, the nose guard. Boy, Edwards has picked up a ton of yardage tonight.
think it'd be an understatement to say he's the workhorse for the Bobcat offense.
You could certainly say that, and of course, don't forget our first-team Hyundai players of the game immediately following the game with awards and trophies, supplying our plaques. That will be after our contest here tonight. Hand off to Pearson. Pearson will get close to a first down, and as Don was mentioning, what they want to do is use that clock gain yardage, and they have already run about 3 minutes of this second half.
They haven't had any minus yardage or negative yardage, and the good thing about it is they're putting together a beautiful drive on the ground that's taking away some of the clock. But the other thing that's so nice about it is the fact that up to this point, they've been able to put together a drive like this without any type of penalty or miscue. That is so important. If you remember in the first half, they had one drive stop with the fumble. They want to hold on to the ball, dig it out, drive it out, and just try to get these points on the board.
Edwards will get the first down as he crosses the 35, close to the 30-yard line. He's met there once again in the middle of that defense by Allen Howze and James Sheeler, but not till he gets first down yardage.
Something I like about the Radford attack, if you'll notice, take a good look at the line splits. The line comes up there, splits the defense out. If a team has an advantage on you with weight, by splitting your linemen, you can get the angle blocks on them and create the seams that these backs are running through, and that offensive line is doing a good job of it.
There's Tommy Edwards, and that first down play, always such an important one when you can gain positive yardage, and Radford has been doing that pretty consistently all evening long.
Well, no question. If you get some nice positive yardage on first down, that makes things a little easier for the most part on the next couple of plays. It opens things up a little bit more for you if you get some nice yardage on first down. And I'll tell you one thing that impresses me is that both of these teams execute very well.
And that all goes back to the coaching, Norm Lineburg and Dave Christ. There's Edwards. Edwards, this time it's stuffed up pretty good. Number 65, Micah Sales, was there. And Sales gets some help defensively from Allen Howze and James Sheeler and gains about 3. It'll bring on 3rd and 3, the ball resting at the 25-yard line in Blacksburg territory. They have used 4.5 minutes plus in this second half on this drive after taking the kickoff. There goes Edwards. Edwards to the 20, Edwards to the 18, and I think that is enough for another first down. Thacker was there. John Thacker brought him, but it is enough for the first down, the ball resting at the 18-yard line.
Nothing but, as Jerry Glanville says, smash mouth football right up the gut, running the football hard-nosed with Mr. Edwards. And, hey, they've had success at it, and they're going to keep on doing it until Blacksburg stops them.
Edwards looks like he'll be closing in on a 200-yard rushing night tonight. He had almost 140 in the first half. There's some rushing yardage up to about the 15, and he doesn't get much that time for number 7, Dwayne Pearson, as that defense, John Thacker, Eric Phipps and company, bring him down.
Well, I hope I'm not giving away any of Norman Lineburg's secrets, but if you'll notice his line, he flip-flops his linemen. He's got 3 good-sized linemen, Warren at 219, Carden at 246, and Yop at 220. But what he does is he runs a strong side, weak side. And actually, he's running an unbalanced line right now to the strength of the formation. And every time that he runs that, he's got those big linemen on one side, and those other guys on the smaller players on the opposite side can get downfield and block. So he flip-flops those people and changes directions. And also, he uses a little bit of an unbalanced line when he moves one wide receiver over.
There's a penalty, and it will go against Radford. Again, that's the kind of thing you don't like to see happen if you're Coach Norm Lineburg, because they lose 5 yards, and it makes it now 2nd down and 14, the ball back at the 22-yard line.
Remember, Dave, I said before the evening's over, I feel sure that we're going to see the option with the fullback up the middle faking and Edwards getting the ball to the outside. I doubt we'll see it here as they are in a power formation.
There goes Edwards. Edwards breaks it outside, and Edwards carries with him number 8, Nick Burrows. Boy, Tommy Edwards, you got to try and bring him down. He did not get first down yardage, but he shows the kind of power he has as a running back.
I'll tell you what, Dave, this kid is as good as advertised. Everything that you hear about him, he's just as good as what everybody says. Great leg drive there and a good sense to bounce it outside when there's nothing inside.
So they gain about 9 yards on that play. It'll bring on 3rd and 5 for Radford. Guess what? Edwards, and he goes diving, and it looks like it may be close to another first down. Once again, that defense, Thacker, Dodson, and company were there to bring him down, but it may be just shy of the first down yardage.
What they're playing there, Dave, is basically power football. We talked about how they were flip-flopping the offensive linemen, but also they're using 2 backs in front of Edwards to give it a power I formation. And thinking back to the old glory days of Virginia Tech, Jerry Claiborne did a pretty good job of running that power I football.
So they get the first down, and Edwards drives close to the goal line, but he is stopped there. Once again, that Blacksburg defense having to try and get tough here. Number 65 was there for Blacksburg, Micah Sales and Allen Howze, but not before he gets down to about the 2-yard line.
We talked about the fact that his objective was to score so that Blacksburg would have to score twice. The other objective was to eat time off the clock. They've almost knocked 8 minutes off the clock with this drive.
There goes the handoff, and looks like he is in. Touchdown. So Blacksburg unable to stop that Radford offensive thrust, and they go in for a touchdown, and that makes the score 20-12. And you'll see the power and the drive in for the score for Tommy Edwards, and it only fitting that Edwards cap off that long drive.
No surprise there, Dave. I think everybody in the stadium knew who was going to get the ball in that situation, and Edwards has bashed his way through. Some fine blocking up front one more time, and things clicking there on that drive for the Bobcats.
Here goes the extra point. Kick is up, and it's good. So Radford adds to the lead, and that is an all-important point because it makes it 21-12 in favor of Radford High School, and we'll be back with more right after this commercial timeout. Cheerleaders here at Radford with a score 21-12, and that extra point so important because what it means now is that even with a touchdown and 2-point conversion, Blacksburg would still be a point behind. So they now need 2 scores, and 4.5 minutes left in this third quarter. So 7.5 minutes used in that drive. There it is, bobbled down there by number 8 Burrows. He will get the ball.
Touchback. It'll be a touchback, Dave.
And it'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 there for Blacksburg. Of course, Blacksburg, under the direction of quarterback Matt Smith, have proven they can move the football. But unofficially, we have Tommy Edwards now with 18 carries, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
It'll be very interesting to see how Blacksburg answers Radford's first scoring drive. Will Blacksburg be able to come back and get back in this ball game? They do need 2 scores, as you said. And now those 2 missed conversions play a huge part in this ball game.
That was Edwards, number 21 on the sideline. There's the handoff to Grayson, and Grayson's going nowhere. Big number 69 was there for Radford, Patrick Mills, and Mills brings him down, and that will be a gain of about 1 yard, and that is all. So Patrick Mills does his job, and it brings on 2nd and 9.
What Blacksburg wants to do, Dave, is they don't want to get impatient and go for the whole ball of wax at one time. They have another whole quarter to go. What they've got to do first is get some good field position, then they can open up a little more. They do not want to make a mistake at this end of the field, though.
There goes Smith. Now he gets it off to number 21, Grayson, and Grayson will lose yardage about 3 or 4 yards.
That was a little bit of a mistake because it was a backward pass. It wasn't a well-executed play. They're being pushed backwards. Should Radford be able to hold here, they will force a punt, and even if they fair catch the punt, they could have good field position, and when Mr. Edwards is over there and turned loose, he could put another 6 on the board real quick. So this is a very key play for the Blacksburg Indians. They do need a first down badly.
Down to about 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Here goes the handoff. This is Grayson, but Grayson will not get the yardage he needs. Number 59 was there. Matt Plum came on to do his job, the 150-pound junior, and so it's 3 and out for Blacksburg High School, and Matt Smith will have to punt the football away with just over 2 minutes left in this third quarter.
They may come after this one. Since it's deep in Blacksburg territory, they may come after it and go should they be able to block that punt, knock it in the end zone, they could fall on it. But it's also a time when a coach is satisfied with just getting good field position, so it'll be real interesting to see what happens.
Timeout's been called out there, Dave. I think Blacksburg called one.
They did. It looks like they also have a new. Matt Smith had been doing the punting, and it looks like David Houston is back there now. And some of those penalties and timeouts that Blacksburg had in the first half certainly came in inopportune times. This one, there's a timeout with the Three Musketeers up here. Dave Ross, Don Lee, and Matt Pumo, and the score here 21-12 with just 2:43 left in this third quarter.
We may be the good, bad, and the ugly, and I'm not going to say which one you are, but I got it in my mind pretty carefully.
I'm just glad he didn't say the Three Stooges were up here. Though that wouldn't be too far off base either.
No, it will. I tell you, I resent that remark. Here we go with the punt. Radford going to have good field position after this punt. There's the snap. He gets it off, and it's a good kick. Bobbled down there and recovered by Blacksburg. Number 14 tried to get that football. That was David Young, and he fumbled the football, and Blacksburg was right on it.
Well, the other key thing, Dave, is if you look where this ball is punted from and how far it goes, whoever did the punting really hit one, and the safety actually misjudged it because it went over his head a little bit. But look at this heads-up play by number 4. That is what you call coverage. It's what you call coverage, just what the doctor ordered. Now they can open up their attack and really throw the football.
That was Chad Long who came up with that very nifty recovery, and now they have it in Radford territory at the 43.
Going to the air.
And guess who? Kevin Shug. Shug gets to about the 36-yard line. Not quite enough for the first down, but 8-yard gain, and you'll see Smith again teaming up with his favorite receiver, Kevin Shug.
Well, as Don said, this is a perfect opportunity for Blacksburg to open up their offense. First play, the bread and butter play. That combination's worked all night long for them. Good 6-yard gain right there, 2nd and 4. 36-yard line of Radford. Good opportunity here for Blacksburg.
And we had an official's time out there just for a moment to handle the equipment problem for Blacksburg, and we'll get back at it. 2nd down and about 3 for the first down. The ball resting at the 41-yard line.
They are up by 2 scores, so we need 2 Indian scores for them to take the lead. 2nd down, we'll call it 5 for the Indians. Smith is the quarterback, Price behind him. Going back, hands off up the middle.
There's a handoff straight ahead to Price, and Price gets to about the 35, and that is all. He was met by the middle of that line. Number 57, Dickie Good, was there. Also, Patrick Mills and Tommy Edwards. They bring him down as he gets to the 36, so it will be 3rd and 3.
With 3rd and 3, I promise you this, they're in the part of the field now where they will gamble should they not make it on this down. So essentially, they do have 2 downs to make 3 yards. They haven't run the ball real effectively, but they're going to probably, well, we're going to see them throw it.
Or at least try and throw it. He did get it off and had his man out there crisp, but it is incomplete. Even if he had caught it, number 9 was definitely right there for Radford, Brandon Vyers, and it was incomplete to Stephen Crisp.
Well, that shows that you don't have a lot of confidence in your running game when you're in the side of the area of the field where you're going to gamble. They went to the drop back pass. Radford probably expected a little bit. They had the linebackers coming. They were able to apply pressure on Smith. So this becomes a very key fourth down situation. But when they spread the field out with the double flankers, they've had people open in the key areas all night. So let's look for them to go to that set where they have wide receivers.
And here comes a penalty. And let's see if it's taken too much time. If it did, that makes it a lot further because it will be a 5-yard penalty and move it from the 36 down back to the 41.
Well, Gollenberry gave the offside signals against the offensive team, so apparently they lined up offsides, and when you do this, they do not allow the ball to be snapped. It's a dead ball penalty. They jump up and stop it. So all of a sudden, what looked like an opportunity to possibly make a first down, now Coach Dave Crisp with the whole quarter of the play is saying, no, let's wait a minute, fellas. We're going to punt this ball unless they have a trick play in mind.
Nick Burrows is the youngster who came on to do the punting and had that tremendous punt just a few moments ago when Blacksburg recovered the fumble. Let's see what he does this time. He gets it off. It's going to get a nice bounce and just make it into the end zone for the touchback. So it goes into the end zone with 40 seconds left and out to the 20-yard line for the Radford offense.
Very good defensive series for Radford. They've come out of the chute extremely quickly, both offensively and defensively. As a matter of fact, they had Blacksburg stopped in their first drive of the second half, only to lose it on a fumble. But 2 times in a row, good defensive series for Radford.
With just 40 seconds left, Radford has dominated this third quarter, getting that extra touchdown on the 2-yard run by Tommy Edwards.
Blacksburg's defense must take away first down. They must stop them on first down.
Not much running room there for Edwards. He gains a yard or two as that defense was there. Sales, Dodson, and company bring him down. And we are down inside of 20 seconds left in this third quarter in what has been a very rapidly played third quarter, and Radford in the lead 21-12. It looks as though the Radford High football team will allow the clock to run out, and so the third quarter is now history with a score here at Bobcat Field. Radford High 21, Blacksburg 12. We'll be back with a final quarter right after this commercial timeout. We're ready to start the fourth quarter. Second down and long. There's Edwards, and Edwards gets to about the 25, still on his feet. And boy, he will not come down. Number 42 finally had to bring him down, Jeff Dodson, as he hung on and got some help from also defensively number 28, Brad Epperle. But it will be at the 25 and bring on 3rd and 5.
With 11 minutes to go in the football game, you hate to talk about big plays, but this is a very big play because if Blacksburg can stop Radford here, they'll have plenty of time to work with the clock and possibly get 2 scores. If they allow them to make a first down in this situation, they're going to have their back to the wall as far as fighting the clock for the rest of the evening.
There it goes wide to Edwards, and he breaks some tackles, but that gang tackling was there. Give a lot of credit to number 65 defensively, Micah Sales, and also number 6, David Houston, as they refused to let Edwards get away.
Also remember one other important factor. Blacksburg did block a punt earlier in the game. They will probably more than likely at this part of the field come after this one because they do need a quick score. The one thing they do not want to do is to rush the kicker.
Willie Delaney will do the punting.
I don't know if I like that call on 3rd and 5. I think everybody knew that Edwards was going to get the ball out. I might have tried a play action pass right there.
But they went with that safe play as Matt Smith tries to get some yardage and does.
Room.
And Matt Smith, the quarterback, gains yardage all the way down, it looks like, to about the 30-yard line of Radford.
The reason that they gain yardage is because they had the punt return set up just the way you draw it on the board. We see the initial block here on the screen, but watch the runner get to what they call the picket fence. You start seeing them pick them off over here. There's 1, 2, 3, and he's just got a perfect wall up there. Had he been able to make one cut back here, possibly, to get to the middle of the field, he could have taken it all the way.
Casey Underwood is the one that drove him out of bounds, or it could have been a possible touchdown for the quarterback, Matt Smith. So Smith leading the offensive attack. 1st and 10, the ball inside the Radford 35. Smith looking, going to throw. Got his man, and it is complete at the 30. Not a whole lot of yardage for Brian Alls, his tight end, who had 5 receptions coming into this game.
I like the call. I like the play. It worked out really nice. Picked up 5 yards there. Anytime you can get over 3 or 4 yards, as we talked about earlier, Dave, positive yardage, and that much on 1st down makes 2nd down and 3rd down a little bit more easier to pick your plays.
10 minutes and counting left in this football game, and of course Blacksburg really has to keep this drive going and get some points, because as we say, they need 2 scores if they're to win this game. Once again, Smith looking, throwing, right through the hands of Alls, as he had some coverage from Casey Underwood back there, and also number 59 defensively for Matt Plum, and it was incomplete.
Now it's a big play. 3rd and about 6 for Blacksburg. Deep into Radford territory. They've got to get some points on the board, so they need something positive to happen on this play.
Ball resting just inside the Radford 30-yard line. There goes the quarterback, looking, throwing, and behind the intended receiver, Christ, as putting some pressure on was number 52 on the defensive side for the Radford High football team. Patrick Mills and company putting some pressure on.
That time, Chris tried to run the post pattern to break between the safety and the defensive halfback. However, he did have the sideline route open. We're going to see if they pick that up, but as we go to this 4th down, let's remember their most effective passing formation has been with the double wide outs in the slot.
There is a timeout here on the field, and with a score 21-12 in favor of Radford, let's take this commercial timeout.
Hello, this is Milt Wirtz in the lab. Research indicates that we Americans create garbage at an alarming rate. To alleviate disaster, I have come up with a solution. Worms, garbage-eating worms. This subspecies can go through a pound of garbage in no time, and I've got bigger ones out back.
There's an easier way to save the world. Recycle. For your free recycling action guide, write Recycle. Environmental Defense Fund, 257 Park Avenue South, New York, New York.
21-12 is the score. Let's see what happens here.
Well, remember, we talked about the fact that they needed 2 scores. A field goal is a score. Dave Chris has a lot of confidence in his field goal kicker. Should he be able to put this through, which would be about a 37-yarder.
With the extra 10-47, I think he got it. What a kick by Allen Howze as he kicks that one. It was from the 37, so you add the 10 yards. That is a 47-yard field goal, and now makes the score 21-15.
Well, I knew he had a lot of confidence. Anytime you try a 57-yarder in the first half, I'm proud of the youngster puts them through in practice, and he did it under intense pressure then because of the fact that now Blacksburg is right back in the ball game. We're going to see if that defense can come up here against a tough Radford offensive team, stop them, and, take it down to the last few minutes and see what happens.
All right, 21-15 now, and Blacksburg will do the kicking off here. So we get a field goal from Howze, and we've had a little bit of everything in this one, and give a lot of credit to Howze, who nailed that one and did a job. In fact, he had a couple yards to spare on that kick.
Not to beat a dead horse, but what was the length of the field goal that Norwood missed in the Super Bowl last year?
About 47 yards, wasn't it?
Not to beat a dead horse at all, because I think the youngster from JMU with the Buffalo Bills has done a tremendous job, and he's apparently has snapped out of the little bit of a slump that he was in, but it's nice to see a high school youngster pop one through from 47 yards. That's a Super Bowl kick.
It certainly is, and give a lot of credit to Howze, who will kick off now. 21-15. It will come back deep, and Edwards will pick it up at the goal line. He's going to come out, and if he gets wide, look out. He's at the 25, the 30, and finally ridden out at the 35-yard line. Boy, Edwards looked like he was going to be trapped a couple of different times, but somehow got away and turns in a fine return of 35 yards.
Well, 35 yards, that's kickoff yardage. His rushing yardage for the evening is right at 200 right now. Listen, he's got to be kind of tired, but he is not playing defense tonight. Normally, he's a linebacker on defense, and he's a little bit of everything, but it's going to be very important right now to the Bobcats to give that ball to Tommy Edwards and try to eat some of this clock up. And again, it's a kind of situation where you want to play without a mistake.
That's next week, our game of the week, Graham at Salem. Actually, Graham at Salem, but nonetheless, that ought to be a good one too, shouldn't it, Matt?
Oh, boy. I tell you what, the last couple of years, these guys have played some hellacious football games. I remember, was it 2 years ago that Salem took the opening kickoff in the drive and scored on Graham, and Graham had never been scored on before. So this one ought to be a good one as well.
Should have a whale of a crowd for that one. Gaining some yardage straight ahead was Tommy Edwards. And Edwards, who, as we say, with 200 yards rushing. What Radford wants to do now is get some first downs and use that clock with a 21-15 lead.
Remember, they're basically running behind Warren at 219 and Carden at 246, and with Edwards' leg drive, they have the ability to move the ball. So really, it's up to that Blacksburg defense to force something to happen. You might see some linebackers coming. They've got to get them off balance.
Quarterback, as has been the case all night, Wayne Lineburg, number 16. There goes Pearson. Pearson not going to gain a lot of yardage, but holds on, gets some yardage across the 40 to the 41. That defense, led by Jeff Dodson and John Thacker, were there, and it will be 3rd and about 5.
Now somebody make the call for me. It's 3rd and 5, most crucial part of the game. You haven't passed real effectively because you haven't had to pass so far. You had one touchdown pass, which was actually a screen. Do you put it in the air or do you run the football?
Last time in this situation, last drive, they handed it off and got stuffed, so I'd probably go to the air, but that's not a shock to anybody here, is it?
Not at all. Air Puma. There's the handoff to Edwards, and he didn't get it. He got to about the 45, and number 8 was there to meet him, Nick Burrows, short of the first down.
Now it gets to the nitty-gritty. Now it gets to the nitty-gritty because it's 4th, and it looks like it's a half a yard. You're in your own territory, you're nursing the lead, you've got a back like Edwards. If you make the first down, you've got a good chance to knock a lot of time off the clock. What Coach Lineburg wants to do is he wants a measurement so he can see exactly how far he's got to go. He doesn't want any kind of guessing games. He wants to see exactly how far because he is considering gambling on this call.
All right, Coach, you've been there before. What would you do?
In this particular situation, I'm going to take a look like Norm Lineburg to see how much yardage there is to go. Probably what I would do is to have a certain play called where we're not going to snap the ball. If it's not a first down, we're going to go back in the huddle. We're going to line up in the formation as if we're going to gamble, but we're going to go to the long count and try to draw them off sides. If we don't, I'm going to take a 5-yard penalty and punt the football out of there.
Sounds good.
But my record has never been anywhere like Norm Lineburg, so I'm certainly not second-guessing whatever he does.
Well, Norm, needless to say, is a legend in Radford. And, boy, this crowd is behind the Bobcats right now.
Needless to say, Mark Ripien fumbled a snap in this same situation Monday night with inches to go, and it cost a lot of Redskins fans a lot of money.
Now let's see what's going to go right here. Blacksburg will now call a timeout.
Remember one thing, we've talked about how well both of these coaches, the job that they do. If they go to a situation where they need a long count, they have to have discipline. When they call those signals, those offensive people can't jump. It'll take away the whole effectiveness of it. That may be what they're going to do, but maybe he's got the nerve and the confidence in this offensive line and backs that have picked up so much yardage to go ahead and go for it. But Dave Chris is telling his people, watch the long count. Watch the long count, but be ready for the quarterback sneak, because if they do anything, it's more or less the running play that you'll see.
Also, too, with that timeout, I'm not sure if that was the second timeout that Blacksburg has used. If it was, that hurts you,
puts it in a hole, doesn't it?
It does,
Sure
because
does.
you only have one more left.
Yeah, but remember how well schooled they are in the passing game, and they will have situations where they will use a 2-minute offense, throw to the sideline, and get out of bounds should they get the football back. If Radford gets his first down, I'm not so sure Blacksburg will get the ball back.
Only 7 minutes to go, and that first drive of the second half took up almost 9 minutes. So if they make the first down, things could be over.
Guess who? Edwards, he got it. Tommy Edwards got it, and that is what you call confidence. They went off that left side. Edwards only needed about a foot, and he got a yard.
Well, they ran right behind Sam Warren and Jason Carden again, and when you got Edwards in that backfield, your chances are very good. This shows a lot of confidence on Norm Lineburg's part, and again, he, better than anyone in this stadium tonight, knows the capabilities of his players. So they did a great job, and as I said, with that first down, there's a good chance that Blacksburg may not get it, because look for their defense to have a little bit of a letdown there.
Clock is running. We're down to about 6.5 minutes. So Radford wanting to hold on. There's Edwards. Edwards wisely staying in bounds. Doesn't gain a lot, but holds on to the football. And, of course, they will take as much time as they can going back to that huddle, coming out to the line of scrimmage, and using the clock.
That's such a call with so much fortitude, because a lot of things can happen when you exchange that ball in that situation. Sure, they're well schooled in working on that offense, but you can always fumble the snap, you can always fumble the exchange. But Norm Lineburg knows what his team can do, and they did it just the way that he expected them to.
Second down, and we'll call it 10, as there was no gain on that play, or very little. The ball at the 46. There's Edwards again with a penalty marker, and they'll blow that dead. The Bobcats don't even get that play developing. Boy, number 21, what a job he's done, Edwards. And there is the illegal procedure, so that will cost them 5 and make it 2nd and 15, but we are under 6 minutes left in this game.
Mr. Edwards has been the offense tonight. For Radford, he has just played one whale of a football game, and I have a feeling he might be just a little bit sore and tired come tomorrow morning.
You won't have to worry about him getting a good night's sleep. I'll guarantee you that. He has been doing a whale of a job, and he's not done yet. And look at him.
Gone.
He's to the 40.
They won't catch him.
25, 20, 15, 10, 5 touchdown. A 58-yard touchdown run for Tommy Edwards.
Again, a thing of beauty, the kind of running we've seen all night. As you see him start off tackle here with the 2 backs leading him through to the strong side, he makes a cut, he breaks the tackle, and then he's just got that wonderful acceleration. From that point on, hey, what can you say other than if he goes in the phone booth and changes his clothes, he may fly out of there like Superman, because he's really been Superman tonight.
How many tackles do you think this kid has broken tonight all by himself? He has done that time and time again.
He certainly has, and you also, though, have to give that line credit, because they give him enough of an opening, and he's able to capitalize on it.
Remember what I said about the defense? Maybe letting up just a little bit. They had stopped them on first down. They'd gotten a penalty. They may have thought a little bit, well, we'll just stop them right here, and all of a sudden, you can never underestimate a runner like Edwards.
They're going to go for the 2-point conversion now, because it's 27-15 in favor of Radford. And for Tommy Edwards, 3 touchdowns, 56-2, and that one was about 58. So he has, he must be getting close to the 300 mark now.
Well, I haven't done real good on predictions tonight as far as play calling and all of that, but I'm going to make one prediction. I think maybe Tommy Edwards has a real good chance of being the offensive player of the game.
That's going out on a limb there, Don. I tell you what.
I like sure things.
I don't blame you.
Here we go. They're going for the 2. This time, Edwards does not get it. And so it will remain 27-15. And with a timeout here on the field, Radford 27, Blacksburg 15. We'll be back right after this timeout.
So, how was the big date?
Okay.
Just okay?
Well, he's not Mike.
Oh, you have to get over this. It's been a year.
You know, I could have stopped him. I knew he was too drunk to drive. I was afraid to embarrass him in front of his friends. Why didn't I do something?
Look, you'll find somebody like Mike.
Maybe, but I want Mike.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Well, we are back here at Bobcat Stadium. We have had a little bit of everything tonight in what has been a whale of a football game, just as last week's battle between Heritage and Patrick Henry went down to the wire. This one has had a little bit of everything, and you have to give a lot of credit to Tommy Edwards, who has done such a masterful job here tonight. And, of course, their defense has also played very well.
Let's talk one thing of importance about this Radford football team. I talked earlier in the game that maybe Blacksburg had a little bit of a size advantage. There's another situation you have to take consideration. Radford has 7 kids playing both ways, and at this point of the game, they're just as fresh. Not really fresh, but at the same time, they're hanging in there and doing the job, which shows they're so well conditioned.
Here goes the kick. It's short, bobbled, and then picked up, and boom. Number 4, that's Chad Long who picked it up. But Matt Plum, number 59, twirled him over. And the Indians will take over 1st and 10 on their own 37-yard line with 5:25 left in this game.
They may be the Indians, but you won't see any white flags of surrender from that side of the field. They're going to come out throwing this football because should they score, there's always a possibility of taking it down, scoring, kicking an onside kick, getting it, and throwing it in there again. So it's far from over, but I promise you this, whichever way it goes, neither team is going to let up one bit.
Here's the quarterback, Smith looking, throwing, and almost intercepted, and then in and out of the hands of number 8 defensively, Willie Delaney, as it was intended for Kevin Shug over there. But Delaney, the 135-pound senior, has played a nice game defensively for Coach Norm Lineburg.
One more time, Bobcat defender gets their hands on the ball. They haven't been able to pick one off, but that's still good defense, batting the ball away. Super job tonight all around for Radford.
They certainly have. This has been the battle of the New River, and right now Radford in the lead, 27-15 with less than 5 minutes left. Here goes the quarterback, Smith. Oh my,
nice
he's got
arm,
Shug,
nice arm.
and overshoots him. Delaney was there, but they was trying to team up with Shug and just a little bit too far. So that will bring on 3rd and 10. And I'll tell you, if Blacksburg doesn't get a first down in this series, it could be a real problem for them.
That wasn't a throw, was it? 55 yards? Holy cow.
I'll tell you what.
He uncorked that thing.
Kind of throw you might expect, say, from a Bernie Kosar, somebody like that.
If he had time to throw, maybe.
3rd and 10. Smith looking, firing. He's got his man out there, but it is incomplete. He was intending it for Mark Hutkins, and Hutkins couldn't come through with the pass.
Well, at this stage of the game, your secondary is dropping off. Everybody knows you have to throw the football. The most important thing that Blacksburg has got to do is to take what they give you. And if they give you the short one for the first down, you throw for the first down, get out of bounds, and start all over again. But going for the bomb on every play, your chances just can't be real good, and I think they're real fortunate that one hasn't been picked off.
It is 4th down, and apparently with only 4:40 left in this game, they are going to go for the first down, because if they punt it away, Radford will just salt more time off the clock. There's Smith, and he got out of that. Somehow he got out of it.
He's going deep and got a man wide open. He's got it.
Caught down to the 6-yard line. I cannot believe as Mark Hutkins was able to catch that ball, but what a job the quarterback did on this play, Matt Smith.
Watch his determination. He refuses to give up. He gets buffaloed. He gets almost ridden down, but watch him continue to move his feet, and when you do that, the official's not going to blow the flag. He gets a little help there and still has the ability to throw the football that far. So as I say, it's not over till it's over.
And when a quarterback gets that much time to throw the ball, somebody is going to get open, and he made the time on his own. It wasn't, he just did it on his own part, and when you got that much time to throw the ball, somebody's going to get open. Great, great play.
Well, I tell you what a job Matt Smith did, and that was, remember, folks, 4th down. So if he is not able to connect, they not only are stopped deep in their own territory, but then would give the football over to Radford. Instead, they have a 1st and goal on the 6-yard line.
It's just what I was talking about a minute ago, Dave. You're not going to see either one of these teams ever surrender, and that's just a perfect example of it there. And what credit Matt Smith deserves, because we've talked about fatigue factor here tonight. He's thrown the ball so many times, of course, played every offensive play, handled the ball on every time, and to have enough stamina to fight out of that situation and still have the poise to throw the ball that far downfield, spotting the open receiver. And again, it's not over, and if they score, we've got the possibility of the onside kick.
So 4:25 left, and there is number 55, Shull, coming off. Jess Shull, as he comes off, and fortunately coming off on his own power.
Just to show you a little bit about the class of these two programs, as that player from Radford was coming off the field after being injured, the entire Blacksburg huddle turned around and applauded in the most sportsmanlike manner that you'll ever see, and gosh, do I respect that, because that was just a fine gesture of good sportsmanship as they applauded the injured player.
No question about it, Don. These two programs have a great deal of respect for each other, no matter how intense the rivalry is.
Here it is, 1st and goal. Quarterback Smith looking. This time he will not get it off. Guess who? Wayne Lineburg was there to bring him down. And so they lose yardage. And now the clock running, getting down to about 4 minutes left in this game. But the quarterback for Radford High, Wayne Lineburg, who also plays defensive end, came by to stop quarterback Matt Smith.
Well, now clock is running, under 4 minutes to go. Blacksburg, I would think, would like to score quickly and get an opportunity to get the football back one more time and see what can happen.
Here goes Smith, looking, fires, and touchdown. Unbelievable. I don't know how he found that player between
about 4 defenders.
It was number 5 who caught that football for Blacksburg, Neal Richards, and Richards catches this football, a 16-yard touchdown pass play.
Watch the way he threads this needle. It's right in between 2 defenders, and boom, the only place it could be thrown to be successful, and Smith has done it again. One other thing, his favorite receiver, Shug, that time had double coverage. He picked up a secondary receiver.
So Matt Smith does his job effectively, and now it is 27 for the Radford Bobcats, 21, and the extra point will make it 22. So Howze, who has a field goal, gets a shot up, and it is good. So the score here, Radford 27, Blacksburg 22. We'll be back with the final 3.5 minutes right after this timeout.
What's the best game we had in the last 3 years? Oh, this got to be state finals.
State
Yeah.
finals? No.
Come on.
Yes,
No way,
it was.
no way.
Yes, it was.
Franklin. Best game.
The Cicero Street Classic.
Who plays in that?
It's me and my dad.
Who won?
Who cares?
How do you build a relationship? Take your time.
from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
We are back at Bobcat Stadium. What a game. 27-22. Radford is in the lead, and you got a feeling this thing ain't over yet.
They got to onside it because of the fact that they've used their timeouts. I just don't think they have enough timeouts remaining. Watch for something tricky. Here it goes.
And a good recovery there by
Look out. He's got
number 9, and he's got running room. They will bring him down. There is a penalty marker down, but at the 31-yard line as number 9, Brandon Vyers was Johnny on the spot. He gets the onside kick, and now with 3.5 minutes left, Radford may be able to salt this away.
Well, everybody knows you're going to try the onside kick. You've got to do something to make it look different. Now we see him pause, we see the kicker walk away, then all of a sudden he stops, but watch the bounce. It took only one bounce to the Radford player. He was Johnny on the spot and got a great return, and we've got a penalty tacked on too.
This will move it from the 32, and it's a long one. It's going to be 15 yards. It will move it to the 17. So not only does Radford have the football, but with 3.5 minutes left, they have 1st and 10 on the 17, and this is the kind of position you want to be in.
Well, your chances of getting an onside kick aren't real good under the best of conditions, but it took one bounce right to the receiver. What you want to do is when you kick that ball, you want it to be squirreling around on the ground, and you want it to maybe bounce off of someone, and so it was something they had to try, but that time it just wasn't in the cards for it to work.
There's Edwards. Edwards gets some yardage, good yardage, and of course the clock is running.
Don't be surprised to see Radford score again. It's got to be, the defense has got to be down after that. They thought they're back in the ball game. They're going to fight hard, but again, this is the kind of situation where sometimes that back will find the crease and get in that end zone before they know it.
3 minutes, Radford using as much of that clock as they can with a 2nd and 3, the ball down around the 10-yard line. There's a fumble, but it looks like Lineburg got on it. And Blacksburg, however, says they have it. Let's see. And they do. Blacksburg has the football.
Boy, oh boy, you know, I tell you what, Norm's got to be going crazy on the sideline. That is not what he wanted to see happen. What a big lift for the Blacksburg Indians.
Now's the time that Blacksburg really has to make good use of the clock. What we talked about a minute ago, you will probably see them throw some short passes and get out of bounds to try to move the ball downfield to get within striking position of throwing the long one into the end zone.
2.5 minutes and counting. Quarterback Matt Smith. He's got Shug, and Shug pushed off, and I think that's what it's going to be. Offensive pass interference as he pushed off on number 8, Willie Delaney. There's no question that...
Looks like it might be a hold, Dave.
Yep, it is, and so that will cost them. And now, instead of the ball being at the 15, it'll move it all the way back inside the 10.
Well, I hope we can get a shot of the Radford secondary because they are back way off the ball. They refuse to let anything be thrown behind them. So that time, Blacksburg did come to the sideline pattern, effectively completed it, but the bad news was they did have a hole.
So it will be a 2nd down now, and we'll see it right here as you can see there was Shug who pushed off on Delaney and fired it complete, but it was called back, and so now the ball will be inside the 10 at the 7.
Radford's safety man, number 7, is 35 yards off the football. He is 35 yards off the football.
Smith back, looking, he's in the end zone and fires incomplete, intended for Brian Alls, and it is incomplete. So defensively, Dwayne Pearson and company were there. It will bring on a 2nd and 18.
The advantage that number 7, Dwayne Pearson, has of being so far off the ball is that he's right in the middle of the field, and being that deep, once the ball is thrown, he has the ability to react to it whichever way it's thrown from the middle of the field, so he's in good position to make a key play.
Here goes the quarterback, looking, throwing, has it short. It was intended for Shug, but Wayne Delaney, once again, Willie Delaney was there, incomplete, and it will bring on 3rd and long.
Kind of flung that ball sidearm there, didn't he, Dave?
He sure did.
Almost looked like Kosar on that one.
Well, he has thrown a lot of passes tonight, especially in this
He has, but he's a good
quarter.
quarterback. He has played well this evening.
Certainly has. In fact, you'd almost have to say co-offensive players of the game, Tommy Edwards and, of course, Matt Smith, the quarterback for Blacksburg.
I wouldn't argue with it.
I agree with it all the way.
All right, here we go with a 3rd and long. Smith looking, throwing, and completes it to Shug, but it will be shy of the first down by about still 15, 16 yards. And the clock is running. We're down to 1:40 and counting. And as I say, I'm not sure Blacksburg has any kind of timeouts remaining.
Y'all been talking about Kosar the whole night. Does somebody in the crowd like Kosar a whole lot?
There happens to be a Browns fan in this particular area.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Matt Smith has a better throwing form and is much faster.
Don, I think you and I have a better throwing form and are much faster.
Incomplete. They tried to get it out there, and that will do it with 1.5 minutes left. And I don't think Blacksburg has any timeouts remaining. Radford can fall on that ball a couple of times, and the clock will run out.
Very entertaining game tonight, fellas. Both teams played well. High-scoring game. Good plays on both sides of the ball. Special teams. This is what you want out of a high school football game, and no wonder it was picked as the game of the week.
Here we go with 1.5 minutes remaining. As I say, you're not going to see anything fancy. We have had co-offensive players. Defensively, it's got to be tough here. A number of defensive players have done a good job. And it's going to be a tough one on defense. It might be the whole Radford defense gets credit for our player of the game because of the fact of the job they did, and especially coming up with all important plays.
I'll agree with you there, Dave.
Well, let's go back to one other factor that you do have to remember, Dave. Early in the game, Blacksburg was able to move the ball on the ground with Grayson picking up some good yardage. I think something like 60-some yards the first half. I cannot remember them running the football the second half at all with any degree of success, and they've only tried 2 or 3 of them. So the Radford defense has really been tested, but they've done the job in providing the rush at the key times.
Radford
there goes
will just kill it, Dave.
Exactly what we said, falling on the football, because that clock will continue to run, and they will only have to do that a couple